Okay, I guess. Charlie, will you lead us to the flag, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Could have a moment of silence in remembering Don Anguish, a life member who passed away recently, and Don Haskins, who was a former member who recently passed away. Thank you. We have the June 17th meeting minutes that have been distributed. Is there a motion for approval? Mike Chura makes a motion. We'll pick Mark is the second. Is there a discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Bill Dwyer, you have treasurer's report, please.
Okay, let's do codes first, the single sheet. No vouchers from codes tonight. Not this month. And that page shows top checking account and the bottom the savings account. Now that still shows in the 60,000, and that has been, 60,000 has been moved, but it didn't get moved till July, so it's not on this report. It'll be on next month's report. And that's the code. District line. Front page, the top, current assets. I remind you to add, I let you work, you have to add the New York class general fund account to the general fund money market to get the total that's in the general fund. I haven't quite got the computer to do that for me yet.
What page is this?
On front page, first page,
front.
I've got them all listed. Those are the correct amounts in the regular reserve accounts and in the New York class accounts. But that doesn't add them together for me on the computer, so I list them separately. You have to add them together. So where you see like the capital improvement of 201,000 and a New York class capital improvement of 829,000, you have to add those two numbers together to get the total that's in there. They're two different systems and don't add them up. Bottom of the page is tonight's liabilities. It's a small night for vouchers, 34,200. And you get a break tonight on signing all those. Page 2 and 3 is the budget versus the actual. On page 2, there's a couple that are over budget. Of course, the payroll administrative fee is over budget by $1,089. The next one is rehab, is over by $559. And there's that background checks, and that's usually less than $20 a year, so we don't really budget anything for that, so that's why it's over 1,560% over. It's usually $3.50 each time we do a background check. That's okay. Page 4 and 5 is the comparison from one year to the next, 2023 to 2024. The next pages are the bank account pages. The district, oh, that's a separate page. Did you do that? You got over there. Yeah, it's separate,
It's over there.
oh, okay, got it, all right. The bank account pages in the report just show the district's reserve accounts. I forgot to add, before I stapled everything together, the New York class, so that's on a separate one sheet that shows the interest we've made from January to now on those accounts. Page 8 is the liability district, the principal and interest payments. Our next one won't be due until September, both the principal and interest payment. Page 9 is the service award, and we now hit over $1 million in the service award account. Ten is the referendum page. We're filling it up here. I don't know if there's any that we can eliminate yet, or we're still keeping them all active.
Well, the chief's cars, we still just had some work done on one. Is that correct?
Amy?
I think so.
The question, what was the question?
If we had we just had the MDTs put in,
Yes, car 1 and 2, and then
Yeah.
the estimates out for car 3 being approved. I think it's with the commissioners for approval or scheduling?
it's already been approved, it's gone to Luke to schedule.
Okay,
But I don't know if we've gotten a bill from United for those,
So we better not.
yeah.
Okay.
I have it on my to-do list to double check to make sure everything's done with it.
All right, and 11, 12, 13, and 14 are tonight's vouchers. And if you look on page 11 of the voucher sheet there, near the top are the service award payouts for a total of $27,494.69. That's how much we paid out this year. That money has been returned, or we've taken that out of the Lincoln account and deposited it into our checking account. We've also paid into the Lincoln account $44,400. That's to pay for those that earned their points in 2023. All that figure's been done. Everybody has been paid, supposed to be paid in service awards. Things are looking good there. And tonight we've got 31 district vouchers, no codes, 1 overtime, 1 permissive referendum, 5 credit cards, and the 14 service award vouchers to be signed. And Mark wins the lottery for the bank statements. And the codes money, Charlie approached me too about that. The problem why that didn't happen is when the district, we first set up the bank accounts to do on the computer online, or not online, but through the M&T site. We restricted what accounts I could move money from and to. Codes was one that was separate. So I couldn't move the money. I had to go and change the paperwork on Code's account, so that's why that just got moved in July and doesn't show up in this report. But that 60,000 is in the New York Life, or New York class. Thank you. And that's it, I think.
Nice.
Any questions for Bill?
They should do it together.
And we have a motion to approve the treasurer's report. Mark and Charlie. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. We have a motion to pay the vouchers as audited. Motion by Chura, second by LaPriest. Discussion? All in favor? Carried, or opposed? Carried. Bank statements, as Bill said, Mark Harrison is in charge of those this month. And close out on any permissive referendums, we've already talked about that. Okay, correspondence.
The fire district affairs was received and distributed. The Onondaga County Health Department came in to do a food service establishment inspection. We got the report for that. We had no hazards, nothing to be corrected, no violations found. Everything was found to be satisfactory at this time. That's all I have.
Okay. Chief's report, Chief Gleason has been activated to the Republican National Convention, so he is not here this evening. We do have some written subjects here. I'm just going to ask John, did you?
Yeah. Chief asked me to speak for me.
Okay.
First one is the decision response guide. That one came out already. Everybody had a chance to read it. We're trying to work through that, making sure people are aware of it and actually use it on scene and in training. And no, he's still working with the other departments, with Moyers, Corners, making sure they understand what we can offer them on responses to them. And I know we're also working with Northwest at this time. So like I said, it's an ongoing thing, and that'll tie into that policy request next thing down there. Projects, the hose testing, we did complete that, and we were awesome enough to have 1,400 feet of new hose on engine 11, and we were able to get rid of some older hose. And he mentioned an email, I think he sent it to you guys, the email about retiring some hose, which is good. And so we're trying to see if we can sell it, dispose of it, donate it, whatever we can do to get that hose out of here. The last thing on his list here was the policy, the run card policy, 031019, the run card. We want to get rid of that policy because it contradicts with the decision response guide. So it's a little bit older policy. We want to get rid of it so it's not as structured. It actually allows the incident commander or the officers, chiefs to actually make the decision as needed based on what we got and where we're going. So that was a request for him so we don't have contradictory, basically information out there when we're trying to make calls.
So a question, I guess, for Amy is if we remove that policy, will it stay in the...
I can archive it where we'll see it on the back end, but I don't think everybody will see it. But we don't lose the record.
So it'll just disappear from the table of contents? Mm-hmm. It won't say run card discontinued, it'll just disappear.
I believe so.
And the decision response guide will not be a policy yet till we actually get a chance to work with it and learn it and massage it a little bit to make it, well, several revisions coming along, so make sure it actually works, because we're trying to work with our other departments out there plus our own.
Actually, it's a SOG, isn't it? Not a policy. I think.
Oh, it's an SOG.
It is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we have two things then. The hose, we would need to declare it surplus and okay the donation as the chief has recommended. Is everybody happy with that process?
Yeah, there's a lot of it down there.
Huh?
We have a lot of it in stockpile that we could
I
dispose
mean,
of.
I looked at
1,800 feet.
Yeah, just a few.
I looked at Auctions International to see, is it selling? And it's not selling. So if we just declare it surplus and have the chief dispose of it to I forget the name of the,
Yeah, it's like the Brotherhood of Fire or something like that. There's two different places. There's-
Yeah.
Brothers Helping Brothers
There you
or
go.
Firefighters Without Borders.
yeah, okay. So you can put that in the minutes. Is there someone to make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
Charlie?
Mike seconds.
Mark seconds.
Like that. Either one.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Then, the request of the chief to rescind SOG 03-019, the running card, is, Churro makes that motion. Charlie seconds the motion. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. That's done. Okay, Chief Speech is not here. Do you have anything for him?
I do not have a report for him.
Okay. Chief Melchior is
I'm
here.
here. I got a couple things Commissioner Chur asked me to do, so I'll mention these couple things. One quick thing was thank you for, you guys actually didn't know, but you sent me to Buffalo to do the National Volunteer Fire Council, and so I got some stuff to bring back for that for you guys. One thing I did learn was nowadays recruitment is very quick out there. They want people to be, the recruitment process is very quick. It's not a month-long turnaround, it's literally like week-long turnaround, sometimes day-long turnaround. Someone applies and they're jumping on it, trying to get them in and helpful to the community so they don't lose interest. The other thing they said is the average, just so you guys know, the average time in the department for new members, about 2 to 3 years, and they're gone. So you get them for 2 or 3 years and they're out again. They're no more lifetime members and stuff like that, but not as much anyways. They do, a lot of places I talked to and others, there's duty crews. And the duty crews allows them to come in when they need to, when they want to, when they can. And the only thing that really attract them in is the ability to hang out with other people, do training with other people, and wear the cool t-shirts and whatever they get right away, so they're part of a team, part of a group. That's just an average. So, but anyways, just that's some of the things I learned out there. The recruitment issue and the training issue and everything else is across the country. These people are from around the country. It was all the same thing. You could take the fire department's name out and it was the same issues that we all struggle with. But the NBFC has some good recruitment and mentoring programs out there to help. They're already branded and they don't care if you take their names off and use it for here, wherever else. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. A couple other things for that real quick too was really cool innovative stuff for fire prevention. And I'd like to go to Commissioner Harrison about doing some fire prevention in our schools. Some new stuff. I saw you did some purchases of things, but some other interactive stuff with the kids, keep them up to speed, and so got some information on that. And then the other thing, just for the department training-wise, they had a company that sponsors nationwide for virtual reality, so we've got some virtual reality glasses coming in for us, if you guys ever mess with that, but it'll be for hazmat incidents, just another way to train, something cool and different. It does not cost a thing, it's all by a grant. So if you happen to walk into that deal, they'll be sending to us the 22nd of July, which I think is like next week, and we'll have a chance to play around with that and learn some stuff. There we go. So, yeah. The only else I have to ask questions to is, the other big thing they were about was health insurance, health screenings and health awareness for firefighters. And I was just curious, I don't know who on the commissioners does the health exams, the physicals and stuff like that, but I'd like to talk to them because there's some different screenings that were offered out there and some other things that were available. I did esophageal screening while I was there, which is a very unique experience. But like I said, it's offered, so I'd like to, I don't know, is there a commissioner committee or is it a single that deals with?
In the past, Amy and a chief have pretty much done that and then come to us with recommendations. But is anybody interested in working with Mike on that?
John.
I think she volunteered just now.
I had heard that.
And that ties me to the next thing. So last week, Commissioner and firefighters and the chief went out to the OSHA meeting that was held in Oneida County. And that was one thing they brought up was medical exams and trainings changing and coming up in the future. So that's one of the things I'm interested in is trying to tie together, better exams, better awareness, along with recruitment and also OSHA standards that are coming up. So that's why I kind of like work all those things together. The OSHA meeting comments are due by July 22nd. Last day you do comments, so please comment. It's not difficult to make a comment. And give them a solution rather than just say it's not going to work. But the other thing I noticed in the OSHA meeting that I got out of it was medical exams are going to be more costly, more thorough, more comprehensive. And then also the other piece was training. So the training situation, they said they will require interior firefighters to have, according to the list right now, if it doesn't change, but firefighter 1, firefighter 2, RIT, and then specialties for what you do. So if extrication is your thing or whatever it may be, you're going to have some extra pieces on there. Officers, all fire officer 1, captains, fire officer 2, and chiefs, assistant chiefs, fire officer 2, and chiefs, fire officer 3. And currently, right now, they're not even offering fire officer 3 in the state because we're revising it. The good news is for fire officer 1, just so you know, it's going to go mostly virtual, like self-study type stuff, and then you'll have one piece to it, which is great. And fire officer 3 is going to go from 80 hours down to 40 hours to make it more, I guess, efficient, so they get more people to access it and take it. It won't take as much time. So those are the things I've learned from the Buffalo and also the OSHA piece for it.
And I think presently Fire Officer 3 is only offered at Ventura Falls.
It's not even offered right now because they're in a revisement of it. They revise it when the standards change and they come back and revise. So it's in a revisement. They did a pilot program on it. They're fine tuning it. They hope to have it out next month or so with that, start offering in the 40-hour block rather than 80. So you'll do a lot more, I guess, work at home before you come in and work with your team on the projects. So, but yeah, those are different trainings that are changing and getting more stringent. I said if OSHA comes down. The other piece is when, theoretically, I think, 2 to 3 years is what I was getting out of that. After it's been like, it's ready to go, it's 2 to 3 years. Maybe, yeah, so it's not a time frame like it's in the distant future. It's fairly close.
There's a lot of ambiguity
Correct.
in the standard.
Yes, and that was the other thing too, a question I asked, if we change the standard, can we go back and do something different? They said no, once they write the OSHA policy, it'll adapt to whatever revision it chose to do. It doesn't go in the future, so if something gets changed in the future, it's not going to follow it. If it's the 2019 version, it's going to be the 2019 version, so you can't go back and find something, which is going to be really weird, because if things change in the future, you can't go back and you're stuck with the OSHA policy. So if I'm wrong, you guys can, that's what I got out of that piece, which is kind of serious. So just planning for the future. But those are a couple of things been out doing, and I appreciate the use of the car going further away.
And there was short discussion about if they pass this now, and then there's an NFPA updated 1901 that is, or whatever, that is updated in 2022, will they go with the 2022 edition, or is it going to be the 2019 edition?
And the way I understood it, no, they stay with the 19, no matter if the future changes and you got something that needs to be changed, it's still gonna be the 2019 standard.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was kind of strange to me, but,
Yeah.
so the standard will have one thing, but then the OSHA will have something else. And typically you follow the most conservative. I don't know how this is gonna work.
Yeah.
But again, it's coming, so.
And there's that issue of those NFPA standards are only available by subscription, or, you can't even print them.
You can't print them, you can't copy paste them, you have to like literally type them out word for word afterwards or buy them.
Yeah.
Correct.
And that's really a hindrance to fire departments who can't afford to have a subscription, and yet they have to abide by, they're written into that standard by reference, is that what they call it?
Correct.
So that's one of the things that people are asking, is that the NFPA standard become written in.
Into OSHA's policy,
Yeah.
correct, rather than go over here and look for it. And then the rabbit hole lives that if OSHA references an NFPA standard and that NFPA standard references something else, you're still following what that requirement is.
Yeah.
So trying to ensure you're following the correct standard, and from my, since I'm the training guy, trying to write the training information and it's difficult because you're chasing these pieces in there, so.
Yeah.
And the question was, was asked to just bring what you want from the standard into the OSHA standard, not the case.
Yeah. So that's additional issue. Yeah.
Couldn't, like Lysander Public Safety, get a subscription to NFPA to be able to get those standards and then distribute them? I mean, when I was working, I had one subscription to the standards for different things, and then we would print them or send them to the different places for whatever I needed. So that's maybe use of that, bequeath of that training.
That's pretty good.
So
Pretty good
I'll-
suggestion.
So if, for example, if we said, hey, you're gonna be the person, they don't give it to a place, they give it to a name of a person. And if you give people access to your standard that you paid for, and that department makes a copy of it, and it says at the top, it is, it'll say John Mucker is the one that did this. I'm like, what? It could go, and if they find it's been put online somewhere, they come back to me for the liability of it. So that's one of the reasons that you typically don't offer it to other places, because they don't carry the liability that you would have, because it's licensed to the person that's the
But we have a situation where the Lysander Public Safety has a municipal cooperative agreement with the 8 fire departments.
Yeah.
Maybe the lawyer would have to tell us whether that's okay or not.
The cost of the subscription a couple of years ago was in like the $4,000 to $5,000 a year range. It's not a simple one
No,
to
it's
do.
very
Or you can
expensive.
buy the codes, but they're X amount of dollars per
There's
each.
like $50 or more.
Yeah, the one I wanted is for standards. I'm doing fire drills and stuff. It's $170 or $180 for the. So I didn't buy that one yet, but I want to look at it. But
I had those subscriptions.
you have to type everything out yourself. So, but that's what I've got for the last couple things, just so you're aware. That's the end of my report. Pending question.
Any questions for Chief Melchior? Committee reports, long-term planning, Commissioner Chura.
Last month, we mentioned that long-term planning was going to start up somewhere in the near future. I believe it was mentioned at the department's meeting also. Those that have contacted me, I'll be in touch with you about proceeding.
Thank you. New truck committee, Chairman Rafkus, sale of Rescue 1 and Engine 21.
I have nothing new to report on that.
Do you think that, because it's only advertised at Brindley,
Correct.
do you think that we should consider advertising with, fire tech and DMA both, and get the word out there?
I've reached out to about half a dozen other fire departments that I've had some hints that they might be interested. I have 2 positive feedbacks. Actually, one is meeting tomorrow, so I'll hear back on that.
Good. Okay. Thank you. We haven't established prices that we want. I mean, what if somebody comes to you this week and says, hey, we'll give you X number of dollars for Rescue One? Will we be able to, and should we pass a motion saying that we can?
In the past, if somebody made an offer, quickly sent out an email to all 5 commissioners. What are your thoughts? Do we act on it or not? So at this point, just like hiring our personnel, you may want to make a motion that if an offer comes in, Diane sends out an email, given permission that if it's in favor with the majority, that she acts on it and moves forward before the next business meeting, and we lose a customer. So that's how we did it in the
Yeah, that's
past.
what I'm getting at. So do you want to make that motion?
Yep.
Okay. Amy, do you have the context of that?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a second? Diane seconds. Any further discussion? This would save us possibly, the time of having to wait for another meeting or hold a special meeting to approve a sale. Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. License to public safety.
Good question, Kit.
Oops. Yeah.
Do you have a listing of what goes with it, so if we are out there? Like what on it, what's it, what the information about it, that is it?
If you go right onto Brinley's site, you'll see everything, the whole
Okay,
listing is there.
perfect.
I can send it to you if you want.
That'd be awesome. I may run this on that, so just asking.
Okay.
I'll take my commission.
Yeah.
I don't know how this run into it, man.
Whatever.
The rescue site.
Okay. Try again. Charlie?
Yep, so let's see, last month we had 2 representatives from I Am Responding. They discussed the nuances of the app, went through all of the features and benefits that are there, some of which that we're not utilizing, so a lot of that. Offered also that since we were Belgium was hosting the roof prop, that if there was any material needed to be replaced, that we would foot the cost for that. And there was none necessary, so again, saved us some money. Next meeting is going to be tomorrow night. It's going to be out at Plainville Station 1, 7 p.m. Everybody's welcome. Thank you.
Is the roof prop gone back?
Roof prop has gone back, yes. Yes, sir.
Quick question. This is, I guess, with you and the treasurer. Do you know if the money that's in the codes account is also in your?
We had discussed that earlier, so there is $60,000 that was moved into that. You're going to see that next month.
Okay.
So yes.
Awesome. I'm just trying to figure a way to fund the food that you almost would maybe fund the actual food that you're providing on the 91s.
We moved it for the insurance, or I'm sorry, for the interest. So that's why we moved it.
Right, but the interest may actually pay for sustain itself, which would be awesome.
Correct. Correct.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless we get more busy with the 91, which is awesome too. Thank you.
Okay. Budget and finance. Charlie and I have met with Amy, and we just have some additional information to get on budget items. President Patalino has sent some information for us and asked to be on the agenda. So what do you have, Kate?
All right, so it's my understanding you've all seen the letter that I sent to Kit. Kit had sent me an email back in May with budget numbers that were in your budget proposal, correct? And stated that we had until July 17th to respond. I knew the commissioners' meeting was today, July 15th. So I made a point to make sure that the entire executive board met before them. I wanted to have everybody's input. And we weren't able to meet until the beginning of July together. We talked about not only what you had in your proposal, but what our needs would be, and also what had happened at the last commissioners meeting. And I was, let me see, so it's my understanding that, as I put in here, the final request and communication usually goes from you, Kit, chair of the commissioners, to the president and vice versa.
Well, the budget chair. The budget
Are
chair.
you the budget chair?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
budget chair.
It's synonymous.
You have lots of chair roles. And so I was trying to follow that procedure. However, I was informed at the last commissioners meeting, some decisions possibly were made before my deadline that I had been given from you, which I was a little disappointed if that is the case. Regardless, we met and came up with a budget proposal of uniforms, of a budget request of $5,000, as we are anticipating more members needing Class A uniforms. The cost is $900 each. Additionally, the number we're requesting is closer to the uniform budget, which used to be $4,000. The inspection dinner, I'd like to request $12,000. Traditionally, the district has given the department money for the inspection dinner for as long as I've known. Additionally, I looked it up, and the New York State Comptroller's Office posted the following legal opinion on its website, stating under Town Law 176D authorizes a fire district to include as part of its budget an appropriation to fund an annual firefighters inspection dinner for each fire company within the fire district. If an anniversary celebration of the fire district consists of a dinner and coincides with the annual inspection dinner, we further concluded that the district funds could be expended pursuant to Section 176D. And I referenced the opinion there. The recruitment and retention and the kitchen budgets would be the same. For kitchen supplies, the coffee machine is currently leaking, correct? And so we're planning to replace that as soon as possible. And the microwave is on its last life, is what I'm understanding. So those are the two big purchases. In addition, there's several smaller items which I don't need to bother you with, but there's items such as, for example, we don't have a can opener in there. So we'll be including some of those. Does anybody have any questions for me regarding the budget request?
Well, I would just point out that we never would have been including the inspection dinner in our budget if we had not known that it was appropriate to do so. We have known for forever that it's an item that can be budgeted by the district. So it's, we knew
For an inspection dinner,
Yeah.
inspection dinner, not banquet. Two different things.
You mentioned Class A uniforms, $900 a piece. How many Class A uniforms do the members have currently, and how many are you looking to purchase?
As you know, we have several new members.
we're over here talking, we need to ask Vice President Harrison that question, that's not mine, and he's not here tonight in that capacity, so I can't ask him that question. I know how much they cost after someone buys them, I can't tell you who.
Do you have an inventory of them? Of what members have them?
What, the hard part is, we've sent a list around before in the past for members to write down everything that they need or have. That has been probably 3 years ago, 4 years ago. We have since had active members come in. Recently, for the last funeral detail that we went on, some members do not have them. Some members, we were changing sizes with what we have currently in stock of the old style. And when we took one down, the company said that they would not tailor it to fit a gentleman. And I said, that's your jacket. It's that old that it had their old address on it. So the jackets that we have in stock are very old. But we do try to fit them to whoever they can fit. And if they need alteration, we can get them altered. But we're also looking at the paid staff. If they need any Class A uniforms, which budget would that be coming out of? Would that be coming out of the...
I think we have a line item in the budget
Right,
for paid
okay.
staff uniforms.
But overall, I can't give you an exact amount of what we have in stock. We have no white dress shirts. Pants are very limited, and the coats, like I said, are very old. And that's the status that we're at right now.
So realistically, you don't know what members, how many members have Class A uniforms home, other than what you have hanging up over at headquarters that are supposedly old.
Correct.
Okay.
But I just had a request from one member to get a Class A, so that's gonna take, there's 900 out of that budget. For,
Well, we've got this year's budget,
yeah, this year's, rest of this year's budget, yes.
which I don't think you've used any of.
I don't think so out of that.
$191
Yeah, not much at all. We didn't get much hardware, we didn't order much of uniform stuff.
I think you need to get your, Charlie may have been going down this road, you need to inventory what you have.
Yeah.
And who has what? In this way, I mean, if you only spent $200 so far this year and you want to increase it, I don't have a problem increasing it, but you need to know what does everybody have, who doesn't have it, and...
Well, that is mentioned also at every business meeting.
I understand that, I'm there, I hear it.
Yep.
I hear it every
And
time.
nobody
If-
ever speaks up.
If nobody's asking for stuff,
That's good.
you're not buying anything.
Right.
So there's no sense of bumping it up. So probably check, do an inventory and then see who wants one just for the closet hanger or who's gonna use one. I mean, most dress uniforms years ago were for parades, which we don't do anymore.
Probably the biggest use is for
Funeral
funerals.
details.
Yeah.
I think it's important to have that we all have the opportunity to have one so that when, in the event of a funeral, that we can represent the department professionally. And I think that on the same hand, that we need to identify how many are out there, who has them, so that realistically we know, we've got better track of our inventory or your inventory.
And the other sad thing is, what Chief Melchior just mentioned, by the time you order one in 2 to 3 months, and then it's made, and in about 9 months to a year, you get it back, you only got 1 year left of that member because he's quitting, because of the 2 to 3 year. That's sad, because uniforms used to go 10 to 15 years with the individual.
Further discussion? what did you do last year in recruitment and retention?
We held a town-wide recruitment retention event over at Town Hall.
It's canceled.
Well,
That was this year.
So that was this year.
last year, but this year it was canceled.
This year, we're doing something over at Sunshine.
Yeah.
You're asking about the budget that was spent, the money or the activity?
Well,
We got signs to put throughout the town, and we got food for members, and brought people together, and had a great big town-wide recruitment retention event.
On the recruitment retention, previous year, I think we spent about $1,300 to $1,500 on signs. We bought tents, but we paid that out of our own money on the tents. And like I said, this year I'm looking at trying to do some more stuff with the recruitment. That's why I wanted to talk. But then we can also do not only fire prevention, but in the schools, but also fire prevention. The other piece of that is the other side of that. So I'm looking at that because we do get a lot of calls in the past with smoke alarms going into old age, COs going into old age, so more awareness on replacing your CO every 6 years and your fire detector every 10 years and getting the ones that talk to each other, just the normal stuff. So there may be some more coming this year. I'd like to talk about spending some of that budget and get us out there so they know who we are. I don't have a dollar amount to go with it yet though, but I want to be able to get with the commissioner and make sure we get the ideas out there.
okay. As it stands right now, the decision was made at the last meeting not to fund or not to contribute to the inspection dinner. And is there any discussion about that?
That was done last month.
It was done last month, and I know that Katie kind of feels that it was done before she had a chance to present her budget, but really it was done, and you knew that it was done last month, so it kind of overlapped a little bit, but we could have done it in January or we could have done it in November.
I think it just upset some members.
What's that?
I think the abrupt decision upset some members because we're trying to stay positive and recruit and keep members. And they're saying, and the members who are upset, and I understand where they're coming from, say you're just wiping it out and you don't want to even support or show any recognition for an inspection dinner for the members, the volunteers. I mean, it would also include paid as well.
So this year, they're going to include the paid without an argument. Now, last month, the treasurer of the department was gracious enough to tell us how much money you're sitting on and can afford if you want to have a party banquet versus an inspection.
But you decided you're going to give nothing. You're going to completely cut out.
Because we don't have to.
So here, this is
Instead
what,
of even contributing a little bit. I'm just saying where they're coming from. They're basically saying and doing more and more things to cut out the volunteers and to not show the
If you
respect.
read the law, this banquet and being paid for should not be coming from the taxpayer dollars. You're on a thin gray line asking us for money for that when you're having granted, some people earn it very well. Others, not necessarily. But you're asking the taxpayers to pay for a party that they're not invited to when you're sitting on a ton of money in the department.
we're looking at it from a taxpayer viewpoint. You have a lot of money in the bank. What are you going to do with it? It's been the same amount for I don't know how many years. stays right there. What are the plans for that money? You don't have any plans for the money. What we're responsible for is keeping the taxpayers' taxes down, fire tax down. If you pay for the banquet, we're saving the taxpayers' money. You have the money to do that. We're trying to keep the taxes down, provide good service to the community. If it was that you didn't have all that money in the bank, yes, we would go for a dinner, an inspection dinner. We provide meals 12 months out of the year. We pay 12 months out of the year for training. That's close to what you're asking for right there. Okay, so that's every month we pay a little under $1,000 every month. Has that been thought about?
We met as a board and they got together, they said, well, put that request in. So,
As Mike said, it was canceled last month. You got the money. You don't know what you're going to do with it. You've got no plans for it. We're trying to save the taxpayers' money.
And you had a member here last month, he's not here this month, worrying about the tax dollars. A member and a taxpayer worrying about the tax, the tax dollars. And, well, let's just have this for a party, a one-night party. It's on the camera. The figure that you guys are sitting on was announced last month. And it's probably increased since then. Oh, yeah, I'm seeing the big grin right there. Probably increased enough to cover this banquet, and yet we're arguing over this.
I do not have a problem with $5,000 for uniforms, $4,000 recruitment and retention, and $1,000 for kitchen supplies.
And right now, that's proposed, because we're still going through months of budget.
Correct.
So please don't walk out anything, it's guaranteed because you said it in July.
And nothing's been spent in kitchen or recruitment and retention at this point of the 4,000 in recruitment and retention and 1,000 in kitchen. So if there's a coffee pot that's leaking, that can be bought right now, along with the microwave. There's money.
what is the process to do that? Like, do we just buy it and submit the receipt, or do we have to ask permission at a meeting?
I think you can just buy the kitchen stuff. The recruitment and retention, when Joe Rotelli was a commissioner, he was quite insistent that the department come to the board with a plan for recruitment and retention. He said, okay, we want to do this and this and this, and so expenses from recruitment and retention budget should come here. But I think that if you're buying legitimate kitchen things, you just do that. If you buy $1,400 worth, you're probably going to get a check for $1,000.
Correct.
But I would also, in the past, it's been volunteers of the department. Right now, it's a mix of both department and district employees using the facilities. So if we can get an agreement on getting something nice for everybody and we can figure out how to pay for it, I think that'd be good too. I mean, everybody's using it. So we want your employees to be just as happy as volunteers to come here and have a decent meal, quick, easy cup, like I said, cup of coffee, whatever.
I would say,
And I'm not saying you guys pay all of it, but at the same time, if it's $1,100, then we may not get reimbursed that. But
Are you talking about the coffee pot here?
yeah, the coffee pot here, correct.
So you budgeted $1,000 here for a coffee pot, okay?
Yes.
And the paid staff use it, and the volunteers use it. Are you really serious coming here telling me that if you had $1,020, you brought it here, that we're not going to pay for that?
in the past, I had a commissioner actually say, I'm only paying up to this amount, no more. The $1,000 was cut off, even though it was just a few dollars more. I'm just making sure that was clear.
Okay.
I'm-
I mean, both sides are using it.
Correct.
The district is not sitting here, 5 of us saying, we've got a kitchen fund. You guys are, you know, whether it's Station 2 or Station 1, you're running the kitchens. If you need spatulas, order them out of the $1,000. If you're out of the 1,000, come back and talk to us.
That's what I'm
Yes,
asking
that's
for.
what I was going to say.
That's what I'm asking for, that's all.
Let's talk.
Yes, I agree.
Yes, okay.
So just to set the record right, the paid staff, I think there's only one, maybe two that drink coffee.
Oh,
So that's it.
Because Charlie.
Because I come all the time and they're like, no, no coffee.
after my
No.
heart.
So,
That coffee pot, I just saw for $530 online at web restaurant.
Okay. Any further discussion? We all set? All set, Kate? Okay. IT committee, Mike Chura.
Got a couple of things. The phones are starting to come in. They'll be working on those, the upgrade of the phone system. We've got a copier that we didn't replace last year. It slipped by us when a yearly maintenance contract had come on up, so we kind of got stuck into that for a year. The maintenance contract is $3,600 on that old copier. They gave us a proposal for a new one of $500 or less. Kind of a no-brainer to go with the new one.
Well, that's the maintenance contract. We have to purchase the copier
Which,
for $3,581. The maintenance contract would be $506, but comparing the maintenance contract with the old copier and what we have now, that would give us contract savings of $3,000, a little over $3,000 compared to our current maintenance contract with the overages. So by
At some point,
spending,
at some point, they won't even do a contract on them, right?
no,
Then that's close to that.
yeah.
so if I need do I need a motion for this, or
Yeah.
make a motion to replace that one?
Yeah. Cost up to 4,000, 3,500, do you have it?
Go up to 4, it's less than that, it's in the 3,000.
So you made the motion, is there a second? Charlie seconds the motion. Discussion? All in favor?
I,
Opposed? Carried. Personnel, the Personnel Committee and Chief Gleason will be interviewing additional individuals for part-time firefighter EMT positions. I will make copies of all those applications and put them on the table in the commissioner's office so everyone can have them.
They're already there.
What?
They're in a green folder. They're already there.
Oh, okay, I was
They're
gonna
where
do
they
that
were.
tomorrow.
They're still in the same folder they were in before.
Okay, they're just not on the
They're
table.
not on the table. They're on that small table on the side.
Okay, that's good, okay. So, Mike, if you had something else there?
Want to throw something out to the board here, it's up to you guys. We have a civil service exam out there for a deputy chief. It expires September 1st, the list. We can renew it at that point. Or we can ask for another test. That original test, and I made one copy, if somebody needs it, I'll run out there, to make another, but there was only 4 people on it originally. One of them we've hired as our chief now, so that knocks us down to 3. And I think one other one, maybe a chief in another department, so that knocks us down to 2. I'm going to ask the board, would you like to have me ask for another exam?
Deputy or a chief?
Deputy, and see if we get more candidates. One of the sticky points on the previous test, if I have it here, was under one of the requirements was a instructor 2, which is difficult to get, so that knocked out a lot of potential candidates. But instructor 1 is still in there. And after we had filed and they had the test, I did some cross-checking, and the other departments that have the same position only go up to instructor 1. So I'd like to remove that and potentially have another test to see if we get more candidates. Or do you want me to try to just extend it and we'll end up with just the 2, but they'll extend it for a year.
Is the deputy chief test the same as the chief test? And it's just
Slightly less.
It's just different requirements, so it isn't, so the test that was done originally was the chief test, not the deputy chief test?
Both of them.
Oh, they both were done?
Both were done.
Okay. That wasn't clear.
And part of the snafu, if I'm going from memory, the chiefs did not require instructor 2, but the deputies did. Yes.
Because the chiefs are not going to do as much instruction, and the deputies are going to do.
That was the thought process, yep.
Logic.
So, but we can, remove that to increase the amount of candidates.
But really, there's no plan to hire a
No.
deputy chief, but if push comes to shove or some unforeseeable thing happens, it would probably be a good idea to have that, a current test with current qualifications.
And knowing the 2 people that are currently on this list, they'll be taking the next one too, so we're not boxing them out.
Any thoughts?
I would just leave it as it is as of right now.
And just like last year when the question came up, you can have a list. You don't have to hire from it. You just have a list that's sitting out there. And that's where we've been, sitting, didn't hire, but it was there.
I would, seeing as we're still new into this, a year and a half into this, I don't see why we would need the county to put out another test right at the moment. We haven't even thought about a deputy chief. When we do start in the future that we need to fill that position, you can always give the test.
Yeah, but that takes months.
It does.
Months.
I understand that it does. And you can hire as a provisional as long as they pass the
You
test.
can't. Not once you have
An open
a
list.
list that's established.
Right.
Which is this. You can't just hire somebody provisional.
Unless that list is expired.
So it expires on the 31st of September? Or the November, or
1st of September
1st of September?
this year.
I think I'd schedule.
Again, you don't have to hire off of it. You just have a list that'll be good for another year, unless it's depleted.
It doesn't cost us anything to do it. It gives us a firm foundation. I think we should do it.
What's the length of the extension? We extend the due date.
I don't know. It may be 60 days or 6 months.
I think we need to find out what the extension is, whether it is 60 days or 6 months. If it's 6 months, I would vote to just extend it, rather than get a whole new test.
So the whole new test, it puts it out at a year, with potentially more people eligible?
Theoretically, if I asked them tomorrow, they would put it out by the next day, by the time they do all the paperwork, put it on the website. Everybody's got 30 days to put in an application. Then it's 30 days to, it's posted for 30 days, and then 30 days before they can schedule it, a test. And then once they have the test and all that notification goes out, you're probably a good 60 to 80 days. And then they get the test results. How much?
4 to 6 months.
Oh, longer than that.
I think we're longer than that.
8 months to a year?
Yeah.
Well, Mark, you just took one. How long did it take for your results?
Right now, the county, we just had a gentleman take the test in February, and they're still waiting for the results.
I think it would be better to put it out, put the test out that way.
Do you know of any other departments that are looking for deputy chiefs? Because that'll be your competition down the road, correct? There's other departments that are looking to go combination and stuff like that, so that pool of people will be looking for that.
Yeah.
East Syracuse maybe looking there soon, some others.
I think we should move forward with a new test, and then it would be valid for at least a year.
You have a question, Dee?
Yeah, what's the purpose of having a deputy chief? How much would it cost, and would it raise taxes?
John, how much extra work did you pick up as an assistant chief here? Nothing much from a captain, right?
Well, it also depends
Yeah.
on, it also, I guess the other thing to that question is where OSHA decides to go and where you're going with this. It's the day-to-day plus whatever's requirements and tracking and the whole deal with that. So that would be a huge, it's an unknown, but it's coming. So I don't know if it's in your budget or not, but I just know it's, and then the other question we were talking is, depends if it's a person that's retired or a person that is actively seeking employment. I think East Syracuse was, what, 70,000 for their chief? I don't know what they got, they were offering that, so I don't know.
Did they hire somebody?
I don't know, I don't know the details, I just know that was posted.
What figure?
East Syracuse was like 70,000 for their chief.
Yeah. But there again, if you have the retired person, they
Right.
can't earn over 30.
Which is why if you offer the test as soon as possible, that pool would be bigger, you would think, you'd hope to be that. Instructor 2 is offered frequently, and it will be a requirement of OSHA too, so it's already there.
But do you want to minimize your candidate pool?
Want the best of the best for us, I guess.
So you seemed concerned about money, so is there going to be a budget with this, or?
So this is long-term, this is not
Right,
immediate. So what this is
long-term
we're looking
money.
at down the road, the future. So we need to plan accordingly because, as I said, the extension is not sure whether it's 6 months or 60 days. Whereas with the new test, you have a larger pool to choose from, and it extends it out longer than that.
But how much are you budgeting for this
Well, we would
potential
not-
position?
We're not, we're just looking, this is just future, we're looking into the future just in case. So there's no plan to hire anybody right now, but this is, in the event that we need to, we will have the footwork already done.
Just like right now, we have a deputies list. There is zero money budgeted for a deputy chief. It's going to be the same thing the following next year. It's just whether or not we update the list.
I have a question. Why do we need a deputy chief?
John, how much work did it increase you from going from a captain to an assistant chief?
Well, the way I interpret that is, as a chief, you're looking at the now and into the future. You're planning the future department, the big overall picture. The deputy chief makes the now happen, so it's coordinated and works. Training, operations, everything goes on in the day-to-day, so that the chief can look forward into the future. So it's simply a manager of the today and the near future. That's just what goes on between the volunteers, the paid staff, the apparatus, whatever is going on, so the chief can actually get plan out the firehouse, plan out the
I mean,
future.
there's so much involved, they should not be involved in the day-to-day training, they should not be involved in the hose testing, they should not be involved in ordering gear.
No,
It should be at the captain's level or assistant chief's level and down.
Scheduling the people, Carzak's doing that now.
Yep.
And that's, the deputy chief would be.
I mean, the paid staff, a bunch of them have picked up tasks that Gleason can't fit into his schedule, his hours that he gives us. That's, the workload's there, it's not just going to alarms and, you know, this Monday night meeting, the Thursday night meeting, there's a lot more to it, and that's what this whole talk is with that OSHA.
And it shows in our department not having that position right now because everybody is multitasking in places they shouldn't be. So they can't focus on the bigger picture of the future of the plans.
I mean, people that know more offhand would probably be John, Charlie, and Mark as line officers on what the need would be.
So again, this is not immediate, this is for the future. That's why we're doing this.
So, Charlie, did you want to make that motion?
Sure, I'll make that motion.
And that was for a new test?
Yes.
Okay.
Is there a second?
Can I second it? Because I
Yeah.
brought it up, okay.
Further discussion?
I will say one thing.
What was it?
I just want, the discussion is that even though you're saying there's no plan to hire a deputy chief, what you're saying is you're looking for more candidates to potentially hire more people. And Carol's question is valid too. So I'll just put that out there because you're saying, no, we're not going to recognize or anything with the volunteers, but we're ready to potentially hire more people. So that's.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. So all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
3 in favor, 2 opposed. Did you get that, Amy? Okay. So the motion is carried.
So just to mention that we did not say that we're going to hire a deputy chief. By doing what we're doing, we did not say that. We didn't make that agreement. We're just making sure that we have that potential down the road. Okay?
Truck maintenance.
The only thing outstanding, if it hasn't been fixed, ladder 1.
The ladder one, the sensor has been ordered. It's the cradle sensor, would not let the outriggers out. Holden's been here last Friday, determined what the part was, and he had to order it. So that's in
So it's still just used as an engine.
correct.
Oh, it's not out of service.
No, engine only. And as we're talking on trucks, truck 2 did not get used tonight for the class. It will be getting used again tomorrow night.
Oh, so instead of tonight, it'll be tomorrow.
Yeah, instructors canceled it due to weather.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yep.
Wouldn't want to be on that.
No, so they're gonna be doing it tomorrow night instead.
Okay. Okay. Truck 2, that would be the July 16.
Yep.
Okay. And I think all the commissioners were polled on the use by the state class of truck 2 for the state class. Building maintenance, Charlie.
So the bathroom renovation over at Station 2 is progressing. The main water leak over at headquarters in the commissioner's office has been repaired. There's still a little leak, I think, at the entrance there, so we'll be working on that. We do have a ghost leak right here that, it poured tonight and it leaked. We had a heavy rain last week and it did not leak. We had extreme heat, high humidity, and condensation, and it leaked. So just we've got a great camera person here, just doing all those live shots there. Good job. Good job.
That's an interesting term, the ghost leak.
Ghost leak, yep. So that's it.
Steering committee,
Nothing to report, resuming in October.
okay. Fire prevention,
Nothing at this time. I'll be working with Chief Malcor about the schools and everything else for the future.
old business. We have I guess policy review is there, although I put it down under new business, but if it's a policy review, should we consider rescinding the physical fitness reimbursement policy? Because last month we...
I thought we did that, and it may not have gotten
Yeah, I
in
think
the minutes. Because it was done at the same time?
Yeah, we
correct?
took away the funding, but I don't know that we did, it's not in the minutes that we,
I think we missed it in the minutes.
Yeah, okay,
But it
so-
was mentioned, because I think that's where it started, the conversation.
The funding was discussed, but the policy wasn't.
No.
okay. So do we do the same thing that we did with the policy for the chief and rescind policy 00-025, physical fitness reimbursement?
Yeah.
Okay, somebody make that motion? Chira, is there a second? I'll second it. Okay. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, so that was under policy review. The next item, the membership application for out-of-district support member.
If everybody's had a chance, Commissioner-wise, I'd like to make a motion that we accept it. We waited for some clarification, we got the clarification, and I was good with it, so I'd make a motion to accept it.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. That's... Okay. I think that's everything. Do we have anything else that...
Under new business,
Rebecca Shaughnessy.
there's a support member application for Rebecca Shaughnessy. That may be not on the agenda that you
Oh,
had.
yeah, okay, I don't
That was
have that.
added.
Okay,
I didn't catch that.
yeah.
Her husband joined a couple.
And that's an active member?
No, support member.
Support. Rebecca.
We approved her husband a few months ago, and now she put in an application for support member. And they're right in Timberbanks.
Any concerns, Tom, that we should have?
No.
Okay.
No, very nice. Again, her husband's also a support member, just wanted to give back, lives right down the road, so no issues or concerns.
Thanks.
Is there a motion to approve? Cheryl?
Second.
Charlie seconds the motion, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, carried. Now, the fire department passed a bylaws amendment Thursday. Has Beverly sent that to us yet? Okay, so we can't act on that because it hasn't been sent to us by the secretary yet. Okay.
Verbally, covered.
What's that? Oh, okay.
I just asked if we verbally.
Okay. Are there public comments?
One comment, Moyer's Corners, I was poking around some Facebook and other things, and if I recall, I saw Moyer's Corners announced they got their new ISO rating. They put it out on their website, on their Facebook. I remember you guys getting your ISO report, and I've not seen anything announcing that what you've done and how that is positive. I looked on the website, and there's no news announcement of any kind. It would seem that that's something that should be put out there for the public to hear about.
That's a good idea. So, we'll work on that. Because that was a good ISO rating. Yeah. Anything else? I hear a motion for adjournment.
Mike makes it, I'll second it.
Chura and Charlie
1 hour, 22 minutes.
are
Right.
adjourned. Okay.